what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the DomainCast. I'm here with a special guest today, FearsomeFire. Introduce yourself, my man.
Yo guys, what is up? My name is FearsomeFire. I have a YouTube channel. I mainly play like Mario games, and the main reason I'm on today's podcast is because I was actually at E3, so I guess it gives kind of like an insider's look.
He's got
into
that
E3.
insider knowledge, folks. Keep it in mind.
Yeah, sort of, kind of.
So, FearsomeFire, you have 140,000 subs plus. Did you ever think you were going to grow this big?
Um, I always was hopeful about it, but like I don't think anybody that makes it quote unquote on YouTube to the point where they can do it for a job, like I think it's unfair to say you expect it. I'm sure there are some people that do, but I mean, I was hopeful, but no, I didn't expect it to happen, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you. Like, I think some creators focus too much on growing and growing and growing, and that kind of loses sort of the appeal of a YouTuber, kind of the magic, right? Like, the
Yeah,
quality suffers because you're like, oh, well, they're just pumping and pumping and pumping out video, but there's no soul behind it, you know? And I think that's what a lot of content creators have to take in mind these days is that you can't just be
yeah.
pumping, video after
It's
video like that.
it's definitely really hard because it's like there's times you may go like a long amount of time where you aren't inspired, you don't really have any video that you care for, you're just not into it. But then when it's your job, you're stuck in this like pickle where it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
it's like
I
you're
don't really
forced to
have
do it.
inspiration, which is what makes a YouTube video good, but it's also my job, so I need to put something out. And it can be like really hard to try to deal with as a content creator. I'd say it's like one of the hardest things and like coming up with good ideas. But like definitely like when I just was doing like what I enjoyed on YouTube, it's when I've probably grown the most. It's like during those periods of time where I was just uploading like what I thought was what I would watch.
I think that also has to do with a little bit like that whole YouTube burnout thing that's been going on with some creators, like
Hmm.
because it's their job now. It's not your fun hobby that you like to do that happens to pay you on the side. It's your job. You have to
Yeah.
perform every single day. You look at metrics data and all that, analytical stuff. And at the end of the day, you're more stressed out than happy with what you're doing as a hobby.
Hmm. No, it's so true because you always have to be on top of it.
Yeah.
You can never really get to a point on YouTube where it's like, oh, I'm set. You pretty much it's nonstop, which is good and it makes it fun, but it's also very stressful as well.
Yeah, you really can't slack off if you're like a bigger size channel because YouTube likes to change things on a whim. And a big thing is the algorithm. Whether or not you get into the algorithm can make or break your channel.
Yeah, if you the algorithm is everything. I know somebody who has like a channel where he just uploads like I know of a creator that uploads like mainly like Fortnite like highlights, like one of those Fortnite
Yep.
channels. He's not really a friend, but he's a friend of a friend. And like I was looking at his channel and it's literally just him hoping that the algorithm will pick up one of his videos. He has like one video with like 37 views and the video after that has like 7 million. It's like okay. It's literally just the algorithm promoting
Wow.
that video to everybody.
Wow. Yeah, you see, like, that's the thing. Like, a couple videos might be like 10, 15 views, but you might get picked up by the algorithm and boom, 100,000 views right out of nowhere. And I think
Yeah.
that's where creators really have to pay attention. If you get picked up by the algorithm and you see a surge of views, do not slack off. If you're looking to
Yeah,
grow your
that's where you need to take
channel,
advantage of it.
yeah, upload more
Um
consistently, definitely.
I think the way that I got into the algorithm was like a year ago, like January of 2018.
Hmm.
Um, I had like one video go kind of viral, and then I just kind of like
Rode the
I just
wave.
rode the wave ever
Yep,
since. Yeah,
that's
and that's
awesome.
pretty much how you have to do it. Is just hope that you get something to go viral, try to make something that's appealing, and then just ride the wave.
Now, I know you brought up earlier that you like to upload Mario videos and stuff like that. Can you give the viewers here on the Domain Cast a more in-depth look at the type of content you upload, like what you like to do in depth?
Yeah, so I mainly do like Super Mario Odyssey is like what I started doing, um, but like recently I've been doing some more stuff along with Super Mario Odyssey, just different Mario games mainly. But I'll pretty much play whatever I'm down for. I've been like a lot less active on my YouTube channel and Twitch in general ever since I moved out to Los Angeles. I recently moved here like 2 months ago. I think that was partially burnout. It was also like just a new environment. It was a combination of a lot of things that I'm starting to get back into it, especially with like summer coming up. But I basically just like mainly just play the game, commentate over it, and then make it into videos, and that's what I do.
Awesome. So you also live stream, right?
Yeah, I do. I live stream on Twitch.
Now, as a creator, do you prefer live streaming more or just uploading videos? Or
My
no
favorite,
preference at
the
all?
favorite part of my job is editing videos.
Oh, there you go, editing the videos. That's a new one.
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite part. And I don't even do any crazy edits, but I spend hours and hours like formulating my video in a way to give it like a narrative, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
And that's the part that I find the most fun is like giving it a certain narrative and having it flow properly. in a way that makes like a fully entertaining piece of content that I'm proud of.
I kind of get what you mean. Sometimes when I'm editing some of my stuff, I'll look at the transitions and I think, well, that's nice, but it could be better. Maybe this will flow better this way or that way.
Yeah.
And I'll have a complete product, and I could render it, but then I find, some little imperfections here and there. Like, well, I could do this and that. Well, I could add that, and it just goes on and on and on sometimes because you're trying to find, the way you want to make the story happen to the viewer. It might not even be like that big of a video, but you just want to spend time on the video.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And just kind of like, I mean, for me, it's like once I start editing a video, I kind of get in like a trance, and then time just goes by before you really know it. But it's like actually enjoyable. It's definitely not. It doesn't feel like work at all. But sometimes when I'm playing a game, I'm maybe like I don't really care much for, or like I'm streaming when I'm kind of tired. That's like when YouTube feels like a chore, like something. I'm like, all right, I would rather be doing something else right now.
So speaking of editing, what editing program do you use in specifically?
I use Vegas, which is most people don't use Vegas. Most like bigger creators use Premiere Pro, and I recently downloaded Premiere Pro, and I've been starting to learn how to use it just because it is like it's superior. But my main video editing software is Vegas, and
Same, I'm a Vegas guy.
yeah,
I think
I'm
a
I'm
lot of
definitely a
people.
Vegas guy right now. But I am planning on switching just because um Premiere Pro is a lot more reliable, and
Are you
you
on
can just do more with it.
Edition 16?
For Vegas,
Yeah.
I think I have Vegas. I use 15.
Yeah, because I have a 16 and not really the most stable build, I will admit. And I'm probably going to go back to 15.
Mm,
And
yeah, I use
yeah,
15. I used to use 14 as well. But I mean, my goal is like within the next month to be like switched over to Premiere just because, like I said,
it's more
like
diverse.
I have like all my roommates are YouTubers and they always use Premiere, and it really is like once you get good with Premiere, it's a lot more efficient. Like Vegas is good and it's simple in certain ways, but you have more options with Premiere to the point where once you get good with it, it's like you can just edit videos a lot more efficiently.
Yeah, I think a lot of people on YouTube, specifically like if you're a gaming channel, obviously, a lot of them start off with Sony Vegas, right? Because it's like, oh, he used Sony Vegas, I'll start off using Sony Vegas. And
Yeah.
that's kind of where I got Sony Vegas from also. Like I used to watch my YouTubers and stuff and like, hey guys, I'm going to show you how to make a video better with Sony Vegas. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess Sony Vegas is the way to go. But you do make a
Hmm.
good point though. Like those higher tier programs are the ones being used by the bigger creators, and they do give you a lot more freedom, a lot more options.
Yeah.
But they are more complicated though, I think.
No, they are. They're definitely more complicated in certain ways, but once you understand them, uh, then that's like the point where you're kind of set, when you're like in a really good spot when that happens.
Definitely a learning process, right?
Yeah.
So, what made you want to start YouTube? Like, is there a specific video, a specific YouTuber that you're like, hey, I kind of want to do what they're doing?
YouTube was always something that I wanted to do. Let me think. It was always something that I wanted to do, and then when Super Mario Odyssey came out, I've like always like I literally was waiting for a 3D Mario game for years. Like I as a kid, I fell in love with Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2. Those are kind of like the two 3D Mario games I grew up with. I'm like 19, so like I was like 7 when the first Galaxy came out, and I played that, and then I played Galaxy 2, and then they had Super Mario 3D Land and Super Mario 3D World, but I didn't really like those games. I didn't really count them as 3D Mario games. So when Nintendo had their reveal trailer for Mario Odyssey, I was super hyped for that, and I just like obsessed over that game. And there were certain like the first thing that I did was like I uploaded this video about like this like thing that I thought was like a sequence skip, and I uploaded it because I was hoping that somebody could help me figure out this trick in the game that could maybe allow us to like do better, like get
Hmm.
farther in speedrunning. And then from there, I just kept uploading things that I thought was interesting, and that's kind of how my channel grew.
Yeah, it's the potential Odyssey sequence. Please help me find
Yeah,
out, right? That one, the 102,000
yeah,
view one. That's pretty
yeah. That one,
awesome.
like that video, got like 60,000 views in like 4 days, and I had like 30 subscribers. So it was literally just at the time people were searching for Odyssey stuff, and there just weren't many content creators making it. So you pretty much could have uploaded anything Odyssey at the time, and it would have gotten views.
I see you also have a Breath of the Wild 280 rupees in 50 seconds video.
Yeah, I uploaded that as well because when Breath of the Wild came out, there was like I remember like searching ways to get rupees because I wanted rupees to buy like different outfits, and there was nothing online. I literally spent like hours trying to find something, and I found something, and I was like, well, nobody else has posted this, so I decided to just post it on YouTube, and that video got like 20,000 views, which it really wasn't anything crazy, but it was very good that got 20K views because at the
Hmm.
time you needed 10,000 views for monetization, and it took months to like get monetization approved. So I got that video got like 20K views, and then I just like used that to apply for monetization and just forgot about my channel. And then 7 months later, when Mario Odyssey came out, I already had monetization. So that was super clutch.
That's awesome, dude. Speaking of the YouTube monetization, I want to go over the more YouTuber aspect of what you're doing. What has been the most difficult part about running your channel and growing your channel?
That's a really good question. I don't even know. I think that like probably dealing with other people is the most difficult part because yeah, I'd say dealing with other people definitely. Um, Trying to find people that like just good like artists, good people that are like good at like if you want art for something
Hmm.
like an emote artist, um, and like obviously you want something very professional, so you don't want to do it yourself. Trying to find somebody that's like good at that and is like reliable and can communicate well is very difficult. I'd say that's definitely the hardest part, which might sound weird to some people, but I don't know. Just for me, I've had so much struggle with it. And I've talked to other content creators and they've also expressed their frustration with that. Also, technical difficulties are probably the worst, actually. Technical difficulties are up there.
Yeah, I think a lot of creators, I think, struggle to find art that they want to use on their channel, for channel banners or whatever, or like
Hmm.
their icons, stuff like that. And then some people go the extra mile, they hire someone professionally, give them a couple bucks to get the whole banner and everything. But some people don't have that luxury, or they decide to wing it and do it themselves. At sometimes you're like, oh, well, figure it out in Photoshop. But it really is a difficult situation if you're coming in as a nobody when it comes to like artistic styles and stuff like that, and you're trying to do it by yourself.
Yeah. I would definitely say like for if you want to be like a new YouTuber, there is a certain amount you have to invest. Nothing crazy, but like you want to have at least decent quality. Although like wanting to have like really, really good quality as like a brand new YouTuber, it's not required at all. What matters more is the ideas and how you produce the videos and the originality behind it.
Yeah, like if you're just uploading, let's say, I don't know, Fortnite compilation number 6009, there's like hundreds of other channels focusing on
Yeah, there's no
Fortnite.
reason for me to watch that, like to watch yours in particular,
Yeah,
which is I think it's pretty similar with Let's Plays as well. A lot of people try to make it on YouTube by like doing Let's Plays, and especially in 2019, that pretty much never works.
I think
I don't.
Let's Plays.
I think Let's Plays are kind of dead at this point. I mean, there's still people that do them, but for any new content creator to do them, it's like absurd in my eyes.
I think Let's Plays were really popular, I think, like a couple years ago. But
Yeah.
I think something with the algorithm changed, and Let's Players got screwed over royally by the new changes. And that I think that's where a lot of Let's Players just dropped off because they saw, like, hey, the algorithm's changing, my views are dropping. There's no real point in doing this anymore.
Yeah, I think the main reason for that is because people's I think there's two reasons. People's attention spans have gotten shorter. So Let's Plays sometimes can be kind of drawn out and people obviously don't want to sit through that. And then also the other big thing is in terms of the algorithm, like Let's Plays are like numbered, which means usually people have to watch like one of the original like
Yeah,
like let's say like let's say like Super Mario Odyssey episode 12 gets recommended to you. Like, well, I haven't seen the first 11. Do I want to go back and watch the first 11? No, I don't want to do that. And it's also like
yeah,
it'd
it's
be
too
weird to just
long.
kind of jump in the middle. So people don't really want to like, find the first episode and go on to the next and watch in order. So people usually don't bother. Whereas nowadays, pretty much all the YouTube videos that become popular are videos that you can watch by themselves, like single-handedly.
Definitely, people don't want to go back like and start off from step one. They already want to be at step one when they get there.
Yeah.
Like I have a Let's Player that I watch called Vash12349. That his style is a lot more, kind of funny, kind of swearing here and there, but a funny guy overall, and I really like his channel. I still watch him to this day, but when I click on a video of his that's like, oh, Resident Evil 2 walkthrough part 39 or something like that, I know he has a lot of funny moments in his videos, and I'm thinking, I missed a lot of funny stuff in those 38 videos I missed, but do I really want to go back and spend like 3 hours watching them? Kind of
Mhm.
not.
No, yeah, I know you mean. Like, that's how I think a lot of people feel in terms of Let's Plays, and that's why we've seen like this decline in Let's Players in general. And some of them still do decently, some of them still pull numbers, but for the most part, Let's Playing is kind of dead. I mean, unless like I think that there's some people that are able to like still make it interesting even in 2019, but it's pretty rare to see that.
With the current state of YouTube, are you okay with how YouTube is right now, or are you not okay with how YouTube has been in these last couple of years and months?
I personally don't really have any complaints. I think that YouTube has its problems, but I mean, there's no other competition that's anywhere close, and the amount that YouTube does do is most people take for granted or don't really realize. It's like this massive video platform that anybody can upload to, and
Hmm.
I think people kind of take it for granted, and it's very easy to nitpick and complain. Whereas for the most part, I think it's a pretty solid platform.
I agree with you on some parts. I do believe YouTube is the best platform if you're looking to build an audience, upload videos, because like you said earlier, there is no viable competitor at this moment. You know, Twitch is more of a
Hmm.
streaming service platform. YouTube is really where you can build your audience if you want to be a video content creator. But I do think it does have its problems, like, you know, the monetization thing. I think it's going to be a bigger problem as the years goes on, because you know how they switch the requirements, right?
Yeah.
I think it's only going to get worse and worse and worse from like here on out. They're going to be wanting channels that have like, I don't know, like, hey, if you have 100,000 subs, that's not going to cut it anymore. You need 500,000 subs. I think they might be going in that direction personally.
I'd definitely say that for them to do 100,000, that seems kind of like that probably seems like a little bit too much, but I could see them increasing it definitely. Um, yeah, for sure, I could see that happening.
I think another problem that plagues a lot of YouTubers on here, one that plagued me especially, was the copyright claim system and how it can be abused to a crazy extent. And a lot of channels have gone under because of that problem.
Yeah, I know of like certain channels that have gotten like terminated just because of the abuse of like the copyright issue. Uh, I don't really know like what the best fix is for it. It's a really difficult topic because
It's
I know
controversial.
that when YouTube first came out, or when YouTube like when the original founders of YouTube sold it to Google, the reason they couldn't run the platform by themselves was because of all the copyright issues with television, and Google stepped in and they decided they're going to try to fix it. So I mean, in a certain sense, it's definitely necessary. Otherwise, YouTube would be paying so much money to all these companies, but trying to build a proper bot that can go through and do it without corruption is like nearly impossible. It's such a hard thing to nail down.
You know, going back to the creators of YouTube when they sold it off, I think one of the other reasons why they sold it is because YouTube bleeds money like crazy. Not even Google is making a profit off YouTube. They are losing money every single year. It's a giant platform, but it doesn't make them nearly as much money as you guys think.
Yeah, it doesn't make any money. I'm also aware of that. It's really the main purpose of YouTube is just um it's just like a very important asset for Google to have is like one of the top websites. That's like what it's really that's like the main purpose, and that's like why Google put so much into it. And they put a lot into this website.
Definitely, there is a lot of money invested into YouTube. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in 2011, I think, if I'm wrong, viewers, correct me in the comment section down below. Viacom sued YouTube for copyright infringement of a lot of their shows, and I think that's where the whole copyright claim system came to be. That's how it was born due to a lawsuit by the Viacom Corporation, and that's kind of how this whole like shindig started with like, oh, copyright claims left and right.
Yeah, I believe that I do believe that that's what happens. I don't remember because it was a long time ago, but I remember something happened with Viacom a while ago.
All right, everybody. Well, that's practically it for part one of this Fearsome Fire domain cast. We're going to be doing part two soon. That's going to be more E3 focused. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you to Fearsome Fire for staying here with us for part one and for part two.
Of
Guys,
course.
stay tuned for part two, and we'll catch you guys in a couple seconds.